Hi and welcome to another episode. What we've got here is me wanting to expand out my TV cabinet. Basically it's a long thing. There's a cupboard on the left hand side, a cupboard on the right hand side, a few shelving in the middle to expose out your DVRs, that sort of thing. For the cupboard on the right hand side I do have some modern consoles in there, but I want to be able to plug and unplug my like the mini consoles that I have, the PlayStation, SNES, that sort of thing. And even take down the OSSC and plug in an Amiga or something like that. And I don't want to keep plugging and unplugging to the ports at the back of the TV. Not that I've got a very expensive TV, but like most people, I don't want to end up breaking the ports on there. I'd rather break the ports on something like this. So this is what I'm going to do, but I want to make it all nice and neat inside the cupboard on the right hand side. So when I close the door, I can't see it. And when I do want to play, I can just open up the cupboard door and then you'll see these ports. Actually this port as well, because it's a networking one. This is HDMI, USB, this is actually USB 3, and the reason I've gone for that version is just so that it's got thicker wire so that it can handle up to 2 amps, because some of the mini consoles are quite needy on power. But then this means though that I can have this traipsing out the back and plugged into a phone charger type plug thing, and I can also run it straight into my TV so that I don't ruin the ports. And then with the networking, the same with that, so it runs into the networking switch that I have, and just so that again, if I do decide to use something that needs networking, I'm not having to hunt around and find the switch and plug it in and everything like that. It's all going to be, the ports are just there inside the cupboard. Now this bit is easy because it's got the plugs on the other end, traipse it through, maybe a couple of screws or one of those big double-sided sticky tabs. I'll decide when I actually do install it properly. So we can move that out of the way for now, because as I say, that's just plug and play. The interesting part is the networking cable. Now this is Cat6 cable, at least it's supposed to be. There's no actual markings on it, but that's what it said when I bought it. And as you can see, I've already chopped off the other end and exposed the little wires that are in here, but not the actual copper, because I don't need to, because this thing, which is also supposed to be Cat6 rated, I don't know if you can see that, I think it's maybe too bright, it does actually say Cat6 on it. Yet again, probably overkill, but for today's prices you might as well just go for it. And all this does is a replacement of this, but to female. So that means I can use a normal network cable from whatever device that I decide to plug in from down there. So let's take this out of here. So there's a few prongs that you just gently press out of the way. So that's out of there. And of course my TV cabinet's black, this is all black, so they can go off and be sprayed. Now what we want is this way round. Let me zoom in for you. I know it's a bit slow on the zooming, but it is doing it. And as you can see, it says AB, AB. Now from what I understand, I did networking a long time ago at some university course. I don't remember everything about it. I know there's some very good experts out there, and good on you, but for me, a little bit of quick research on updating my memory. Basically the one's a crossover and one isn't, and as far as I remember is the B markings are the ones that are not crossover, because I don't need a crossover cable, because there's no point having a crossover to a crossover, and so on. And even so, your routers and your switches and things in this modern day and age do all the switching internally. I forgot what that's called, but it's not something you really need to worry about for home use, at least. I'm sure there's some very good scenarios in professional networking that it becomes something of a necessity, or even then maybe it doesn't, because as I say, it does it automatically. But for us here at home, it doesn't matter, but let's try to follow some form of a standard. So I've unraveled these a little bit, and as you can see, that one looks like it's white, but it's not actually, because it's got brown going down it as well, so that's paired with that one. This one's got a bit of blue, this one's got a bit of green, and this one's got a bit of orange going along with the things. So as you can see on the markings across the top there, that's white and green, so that'll be that wire that needs to go in there, and so on and so forth. So I'll mess around putting these in, but what I'm using is this fancy tool. I'll hold it still, and basically what happens is you put the wire up from behind, and then you push it down using this, and in theory, as it goes down and it pushes, that will snip off the exposed bit on the outside, in theory. Now I have tried already and it doesn't, because this is a cheapo one. Do not buy a cheapo one. As you can see, actually it's curved away, so it's not very good setup at all, but for my little doing of this it'll be enough, and if need be I've got some other little snips that'll sort it. So let me come back to you when this is all wired up correctly. So I've got the last one to do, just to show you. One thing I forgot to mention just before I cut it is the reason this tool is good, because it pushes it down there, but these little bits in here, they actually slice into the wire, giving you the connection in the first place. That's why you don't need to trim it back and get a bit of copper showing. But what it should do is snip off the end, and as I said, I don't believe it does. And that's as simple as that. It pushes down, it makes a clicking noise, makes everything goes out of focus, but there you go. So what I'm going to do now is test it, because obviously I might as well test it before I use this zip tie to hold it into place. So I'm just going to hold it so I'm not dragging on the wires, and I make sure it works as an extension cable, because that's basically what we're building. So back again after a quick test, everything works fine. So let's put this in here to give it some strain relief. Oh, it's a bit fiddly. Make sure it's tight, but not, not overly tight. That bit seems to be enough. We can leave that, or we could just trim it off. I'm gonna leave it on for now, just in case I can make it a little bit tighter as I'm messing around. But as I said, a bit of messing around. Spray painted. It's the same black that I used on my Commodore 64. It's not perfect, but when it's all done, hopefully we shouldn't be able to worry about it. So let's get this in here. Make sure it clicks underneath the little 4 tabs that there is there. Now it's in there, is it a little bit easier to get a bit more, is it tying? Pulling silly faces trying to get more stuff. There we go, it went a couple more notches there. But I'll still leave it because there's no point really, I suppose. Make sure the lid's the right way around. And there we go. Nice little extension cable. Again, what I could do, I suppose, is take it all to bits again and screw this bit in to the cabinet first, or just use some double-sided sticky tape, or pads rather. I'm thinking I'm going to use the pads to get them on there, so that I'm not, at the very least I can always use some glue Gone or whatever it's called, a Goo Gone, isn't it, to get rid of any stickiness afterwards if I decide to remove these instead of leaving gaping holes inside it. So that's for today, and hopefully this all works out fine. But as I said, it's just so that I don't have to keep plugging and unplugging, and maybe give some idea out there. For all of this, it came to what was it, around £12, delivered directly from Slow Boat from China. So a little bit of messing around, job done. As always, happy gaming. bye.